So the elephant in the room is telling me to address it. I recorded all of this the day before the balance patch. I recorded all of this footage and this audio and everything March 5th. And the balance patch literally just dropped as I'm speaking right now on March 6th. So Lash did get hit in the balance patch. I shedded a tear. However, he didn't really get hit that hard. A lot of things that I bring up and a lot of things I talk about still hold true with Lash. It's just now him, when it comes to throwing people with his ult, it's not really the same. And his flog is also a little bit different. But other than that, he's still the Lash. So I hope you can take this with knowing that in mind. This still goes over like what you should be doing as Lash, and that still holds true. What it looks like, that still holds true. So I'm still gonna upload this anyway, obviously, because you're fucking watching it. But I'm just saying, maybe let's look at maybe before you're like, wow, I watched this video, now I'm a professional Lash. Go look at the balance patch before you actually go and throw in Lash in your games. Okay? And then you don't blame me because you fucking threw because you didn't read the balance patch. Just read the balance patch notes, god damn it. So, you want to learn how to play Lash. A lot of people in my TikTok comment section have been saying, oh, Lash tutorial, please shiftless, we need a Lash tutorial. And even someone that I versed in Deathy's Death Slam was like, I need your Lash to teach me how to play Lash, which, big compliments. My ego is huge. Thank you so much. But I cannot stress this enough. There are 1,000,000,000% better Lash players than me out there, right? I'm only Oracle 5. I'm not that great at Lash. That's just how I think I am. I don't think I'm all that great at Lash. I know I play a good Lash, but I don't think I play the best Lash. If you're looking for how to be the best Lash and from the pros, I'd say watch Deathy, but that's because I have no trust in myself. But if you're still just looking for like the basics and like some good combos and what I do, because I do things a bit differently than what is recommended of Lash, and you'll see that here in a second. So first things first, always whenever you're typing in chat, make sure you roleplay as Lash, right? Role-playing as Lash is the best thing that you can do in order to stay in character. And always start every sentence with the Lash whenever you're talking in all chat, right? That is the number one Lash tip, is you have to stay in character, right? I even say Lash quotes. I think I have a Lash quote. Yeah, I have a Lash quote copied right now, so I could fucking paste it. Anyways, let's get on with his abilities. His first ability is Ground Slam, right? It's pretty simple on paper. It's pretty simple on paper, but in practice, it's actually a lot different, and there's more that meets the eye. It's just, you slam, right? You get a big area of effect, and you slam. However, what makes it so special is that it gets more damage per meter, right? So what does that mean? Does that mean I have to be traveling very fast in a fucking vertical sense or horizontal sense? No, it's vertical. Everything that Lash does has to do with him being in the air. You should be in the air at all times, right? So he's constantly gonna want to be in the air, especially because his slam, immense power the higher you are. Look at this. 12 damage per meter. And that scales with Spirit, by the way. But 12 damage per meter. Let's say you're up 20 meters. That's like, what, 240 damage right there? Just by Ground Slam. And then not counting the 63 damage that also scales with Spirit. Like, your Ground Slam's going to do a lot of damage. And if you get it to tier 2, it knocks up enemies, stunning them for just a little bit. They slow down a little bit. Your second ability is what's going to help you get up in the air a lot easier, right? It's your grapple. Basically, any enemy, any fucking teammate, any NPC, look at these camps. See these camps? See how they're looking at me? Grapple. Grapple. You can use anything. You can use creeps, you can use enemies, you can use allies, you can use towers, you can use the fucking patron. You can use anything to grapple as Lash, right? So you want to use your 2 along with your 1 in order to get up high and do big chunks of damage, right? And then your 3 is what's going to finish off this glorious combo that you started with your 2 and your 1, right? Your 3 is your flog. It's basically just a giant whip that you shoot in front of you, and it heals you for a good chunk of health. It does a good chunk of damage. Your 3 is very important as Lash. So a good combo and a very common combo, the combo you will see probably for every Lash player ever that walks the earth, is they go in, they grapple, they ground slam, and then they flog, and then they start shooting just to finish off the enemy if they're still alive, right? That is the most bread and butter simple combo for Lash. It's just 2, 1, 3, shoot. Very simple, very easy to do. Anybody can do it. Very good, very good. Now your 4 is also very important because Lash's 4 can change a team fight, but it's also so fucking ass at the same time. I swear to God, Yoshi hates Lash. Yoshi's a fucking bebop enjoyer. Your 4, I'm gonna show it right here. Let's say there's a bunch of enemies. You get up high, you get a good sight of all the enemies, and then you grab them and throw them in any direction you want, right? It stuns them for a little bit if you have it maxed. It can really disrupt a team fight. It can change the course of a fight by just like throwing an enemy into like dynamo or into a patron or not a patron, a walker. Lash's ult is something to be afraid of. However, and this is something you have to look out for if you are planning to play Lash. Lash's ult is the only ultimate in the game that can be stopped by Haze's sleep dagger, right? His ultimate is very susceptible. His ultimate is very weak, very vulnerable to stuns, right? Lash, as a Lash player, you should hate knockdown. As a Lash player, you should hate Haze's sleep dagger. As a Lash player, you should hate REM sleep. As a Lash player, you should hate Bebop grapple. As a Lash player, you should hate every stun in the game. Because every stun in the game is going to make you not hit those fat ults. Right? That being said, I do not buy Unstoppable every game. I'll get into the buys a little bit later, right? First things first, let's go over what you should do in lane as Lash, right? In lane, you're looking to get a side lane, right? And there's a good reason for this. Side lanes either have this building right here where you can get up onto this library and then slam down, giving you, look at how much height that is, right? You're all the way up there and you slam down here. I didn't use any grapples. I didn't use any stamina. If I used a grapple or I used a stamina, I could have got even higher and even more damage on my ground strike. On this side, if you're on Arc Mother side and you're on green lane, look at this. You have this billboard right here. You can climb up using that fucking, the rope. You can get up to this billboard and same thing. This side, you kind of have to use stamina, right? You can grapple, but then still, big slam damage. Mid doesn't have the same, like, height advantages. Sure, you could get up here, theoretically. You could get up here and slam, but, like, it's barely taller than the fucking bridge, right? Mid doesn't have anything for Lash to, like, climb up on and ground strike from. Over here on yellow lanes, same thing. Hidden King's yellow lane has this little entryway. This is actually my favorite. I actually really like being on this side because it has this entryway. And then on Arc Mother, it once again has this billboard little area. This is also a really good one because you can get up here to this billboard and you could just slam down. Being on a side lane, especially yellow lane, as Lash is the best thing that you can do during laning. All you should be looking to do is like getting in here, shooting a little bit, maybe hitting a flog, and then going up here and looking for a ground strike, right? And then flog, shoot, nobody's dying, turn around, go back up here, start the same process. If they're starting to notice that you're doing that a lot, you can switch things up a little bit, but other than that, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, It works. It works. Also, if you get ult, never, ever, 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 ever. I cannot stress this enough. If you get ult, when you get ult in lane, never ult them on their side because... Look at that. Look how much damage I'm taking from that fucking Guardian. No, you don't want that. Instead, ult them so you can throw them into your Guardian and they can take all the damage. Now that we've settled what to do during lane phase, how you should be looking for high advantage points to slam from, you should be looking for huge ults to like throw them into your Guardian. Now let's get into mid game, because mid game's very confusing and deadlock entirely, and for Lash it's just as confusing. Okay, for mid game, the best thing that I can personally recommend is staying in blue lane. Right? Stay in blue lane and just look for a fight, right? If you're in blue lane and you're like, hey, there's a fight breaking out over here in green. There's a fight breaking out over here in green. There's a fight over here. There's a fight over there. If you see a fight, try your best to rotate to that fight as quickly as possible. Now I understand grass, green, fork, fountain, kitchen. I want to rotate the fights in a team fighting game. Yeah, I get that. But as Lash, you not only rely on your teammates, but your teammates also heavily rely on you. Like I said earlier, your ult is a massive ult if you can get it off. Lash's ult is just so fat that it just works, that it's just like really good sometimes. Even if you only use it against one person, disrupting one person and making every fight for 30 seconds of 5v6 is very good. Especially if you have another like team fight ult like Dynamo or Rem or 7. If you have another like team fight ult like that on your team, using your ult just to pick off one person isn't half bad. Now, if you can get more than one, go for it, but you're not going to all the time, right? Because look, also something about Lash's ult. This is how easy it is to stop a Lash ult. There we go. Check this out. You ready? I don't think you guys are ready for this. Die. Notice how I can't grab the Infernus behind the fucking lamppost? He just like will not get grabbed.
I'm about to ruin your day.
People complain about Lash's ult, but Lash's ult actually, this is gonna be a hot take, is incredibly honest. Lash's ult is like one of the most honest ults in the entire game. If you get caught out by a Lash ult, that is on you, nobody else. Anyway, hot takes aside, we can get into like what to build now. Obviously, you want to build Spirit as Lash. You also want to get something like Greater Expansion. Rapid Recharge is not something people like to buy on Lash, right? But this is why I like kind of stray away from like what the meta is, or like what the pros are doing. I like to buy Rapid Recharge on Lash because having 3 grapples, let's say, right? Having 3 grapples, let's say this Infernusi are like fighting me. I can grapple, I can dash if they're still chasing me, right? I can grapple again, I can still dash, and I have 1 more grapple just in case. Let's say there's creeps, grapple again, and then keep dashing. Like, you have so much extra range with that 3rd grapple. It also recharges a lot sooner, so you have them more off cooldown. They're just really nice to have, and especially with Stamina Mastery, which I like to run, you can become kind of a movement demon and just like never really get punished, which is what you should be wanting to do as Lash. Also, speaking of Stamina Mastery, since I brought it up, people will either run Stamina Mastery, Warp Stone, or Majestic Leap, or some kind of combination of 2 of those 3, right? A lot of people like to run Majestic Leap. I don't. Because Majestic Leap, if you get shot by a hero, you can't use it anymore. You can't use it for 5 seconds. Which I don't like the idea of. Because, especially for Lash, because, yeah, it's good to, like, get in with your ult and then, like, hit a fat ult. But why do that when you can just grapple? And then jump, and then jump, and then grapple, and then boom. I did all that. If I got shot during that, it doesn't matter. I can keep going. If I don't have a cooldown for it. I don't have have to wait or anything. It's just quick and easy. Boom, boom, bam, press 4. especially, it's just I like running Stamina Mastery over Majestic Leap. If you like running Majestic Leap, you can run Majestic Leap. If you like running Warpstone, you can run Warpstone. They're all very great items. They're all $3,200 Vitality items, so it's going to get your Vitality investment. Very good. I also like to run Arctic Blast because to add on to the combo I was talking about earlier, you can slam, flog, and then Arctic Blast just for some extra damage. Something I should mention I've already mentioned mid-game is Lash. Something I should mention during endgame, you used to be able to, let's say there's 6 enemies in the pit, right? There's 6 enemies in the pit and you want to ult them with your ult. You can no longer easily like throw them into the patron, like the spawn room area, and slam. It's just not really a thing anymore. Yes, you can still throw them in here on Hidden King, but other than that, you can't really utilize. You know what I mean? This is why I say they fucking hate, like Yoshi hates Lash, right? Let me turn on No Dad. I think if you
don't got what it takes.
Gets the angle right. If you get the angle right, you can still slam, but you have to it has to be perfect. Like the 6 Infernuses can't be moving. You know what I mean? They have to be all within such a short range. Like let's say right here, right? Just be careful when it comes to ulting them in the pit, because it's not as glorious as it once was. However, I should also mention, in endgame, for the pit, these. Oh my god, if you're on the enemy team, these little waves, these little airs, whatever the fuck, air vents, are the best thing that you can be looking at. Always be looking at to take these. You wanna know why? Look how high you go. You ready? Boom. Jump. Slam. Like, you get so much air from these. If you're in the enemy base, it's just worth it every time. Because like I said earlier, you can grapple the patron. And the skybox in the base is actually like higher than normal. So you get a lot more damage out of your ground slam for it. But just look for these. They're always on this side. They're always by the shrines here. Just quick little and then let's say everyone's in the pit. No, they're not. I should also mention as Lash, you shouldn't really, this is just kind of obvious, you shouldn't really be looking to take out towers or the walkers or anything like that, because even like max level full built Lash, I don't think I can like take out a walker that quickly, you know what I mean? Now obviously I would have creeps if this was an actual game, but I guess I don't have creeps, so it's just gonna be friendly. You can't really take out a walker all on your own. You can do a lot of damage to it if you're in a team setting, but you should also, if you are taking on a walker as Lash, be very mindful of the slam, because you shouldn't be just like shooting the walker the whole time, right? You don't want to just be sitting here shooting it. You want to be using your flog. You want to be getting in there and using your slam. But just make sure that you use your slam after it does it, and it'll do it once you get into this circle here. Once you get into the second circle, it'll start the slam animation, and then you can just go for it. But just be mindful when taking out a walker. Mainly, you won't be taking out walkers all that much. You'll just be like looking to defend your walkers, because check this shit out. Whoops, check this shit out. 6 Infernuses.
Die.
Then they get stunned, and then they're just dead. Like, they get stunned by your ult, they get stunned by your stomp, they get stunned by the walker, they take a bunch of damage from all those things. They use your flog, you can use Arctic Blast to stun them even more. They just take a shit ton of damage when they're trying to take on a walker, and you are Lash. Remember, as Lash, you can decide whether or not a team takes out a walker, kind of. I say kind of because there are some instances where that's not going to happen. That team's just gonna take out a walker even if you ult them and you slam them and you do whatever. But that just happens. But there's not much more to really talk about for Lash. He's a pretty he's very fun. I definitely say you should work on your movement if you're trying to learn how to play Lash. Like, being good at movement is definitely the best thing that you can do. You should, when it comes to the buffs, always be looking for either movement buff or spirit buff, obvious reasons. And then whenever, you know, if there's ever any downtime, you could take out tier 2s actually pretty easily. You can't really take out tier 3s, but that's why you have Cultist for the extra health. But that is the shiftless tutorial on how to play Lash. There's not much more I can really think about here to talk about. I talked about lane phase. Lane phase, you want to... This goes for the entire game. You always want to be up high and looking for a giant, slam. But especially in lane phase, because you don't, do a whole lot of damage with your gun, you should just be, looking for the little corners on the side lanes. Like the billboards of the library or the whatever. You should be looking for those. Mid game, you kind of just want to stick in blue, look for a team fight. If you see a team fight and your team's calling out on it, it's a great idea. If you see people a little bit pushed up, if you see an enemy team or enemy player that's pushed up a little bit farther than they should be, definitely call them out, definitely punish them for it. You have the power to do so. Be like, hey, I see Paradox over here, let's go kill her real quick. And then you can easily, if everyone's playing accordingly, everyone should rotate to her. You can stomp her, you can flog her, you can ult her if you have to, but you can punish people for being pushed up too far. You are a assassin, not from the shadows, but from above. Your whole goal is to just fucking slam and get out. Right? Slam, flog, Arctic, get out. Do a bunch of damage really quickly. Asta. And that's about how to play Lash. I don't really know how to end this video.